Hi everybody, welcome to my demo videos where I will go through everything Tattoogenda has to offer so you get a good idea if this will suit the needs of your tattoo studio or not. I went ahead and created a new demo account. So this is totally new and empty. There's no data yet. We're going to start from scratch together. When you log in, this is what you will see. It's an empty calendar, and first thing you have to do is just create a new artist. Therefore, we go to artist and we go to plus artist. The system will ask you for an email address of your artist. I'm going to use a temporarily one here. Voila. Why does the system ask for an email address first? You, as the manager, you with your shop account pay for the subscription of Tattoogenda. Your artist will not. It does not matter how much artists you have. Well, you have limits per subscription, but if you have the highest subscription, you don't have any limits. You add as much artists as you need, and all those artists use Tattoogenda for free because of that. But your artists can also be shared over different studios, maybe. And those different studios, they can all use Tattoogenda. So let's say you have a guest and he travels between your studio and another studio in a nearby country, for example. That artist has a Tattoogenda account for free with a certain email address. Let's say the other studio is already working with your artist. The artist already knows Tattoogenda, and now we want to add this guest artist to your studio. You add his email address, you click next, and Tattoogenda checks if the artist exists already. If the artist already exists in the system, you won't have so much input fields like here. The system will recognize the data that is there already, and you can then just simply send the request to that artist to also join your studio. In this case, the artist is not existing yet. Like I said, we start from scratch. So this is all the data that you can enter for your new artist. Let's go over every single field. Step 1. Is your artist a guest or a resident artist? A guest is an artist that is sometimes in your studio and sometimes not. A resident artist is somebody that is there always with you. Not full-time, but just always in your studio. They have their own booth and it's their booth. A guest artist comes and goes. And in your calendar, which I will show you later on, you will have like a horizontal bar on top of the calendar that indicates all the guest spots of that guest artist. We are going to start with just the resident artist. Just creating a resident artist, I mean. For permission, you have this one, checkbox, full access. Well, if your artist has full access, he can create his own bookings, move his own bookings, do anything that you can, but only for his own bookings with his own customers, with his own projects or her own projects, of course. If they don't have full access, that would mean they can log in, but they can only read what you have created for them. You would use this, for example, with a guest artist who comes to your studio for the first time and they are not used to this system yet. You will provide them with a link, but they don't have full access. So if they click the link, they can get into their calendar and they can just follow whatever you have prepared for bookings for them. Another use case for this is if you need to stop the cooperation with one of your artists and he has to, or the artist or she has to do her last 3 weeks of bookings that were already there, for example, you can remove the full access and that way the artist can still log in. They can see their bookings, but they cannot move anything anymore. They cannot like steal the appointments to move them to another shop, and they cannot even see the customer email or phone neither. So they cannot start drawing customer lists to take away to the next studio. Okay. Next checkbox is active. If your artist is not active, they cannot log in. Simple. So if for some urgent case you have to remove access from your tattoo shop's calendar for one certain artist, you just remove the active checkbox and that's it. With this, it's better than removing the artist, because if you would remove the artist, it would remove all the appointments, all the customers, all the data ever that was related to this artist, and you don't want that for your own accountancy and your studio. So you don't gonna remove it, you're just gonna deactivate somebody. And now the photo required before payment. This was actually requested by one of you. If I check this for my artist, it would mean if this artist wants to add a payment to the system after a tattoo is finished, they take a payment, they want to add it in the system will require from the artist to first upload a picture. This way, if you as a manager are not always in your studio, for example, you're traveling or whatever reason, or you are managing multiple locations, but you still want to keep track of the quality of your artists. If you do this, photo required before payment, your artist has to upload a picture all the time. And then it's up to you. Like if your artist asks you for a raise, for example, you just go check all his works. I will show you later where that is. And you can check if the quality is growing, if it is consistent, if they are fair with prices towards the customers when you're not there, things like that. So this gives you more control over your studio if you are not there all the time. Next field, first name, last name. This is kind of obvious. I'm gonna use some demo data here just so YouTube recognizes this is not real customers or not a real artist. Excuse me. The email is there already because we did that in the previous step. All the other fields, the social medias, the VAT number, the company name, you can use it. You don't have to. It's for your own records, basically. Profile color, I would suggest to use. Voila. Because if you have multiple artists, you want to keep a visual oversight in your calendar who's which booking is for whom. So if everybody has a distinct color, that goes a bit quicker. You can choose a country, a city, a street, postal code if you want to keep track of those details in Tattoogenda. It's not really used somewhere. It's just for your own reference. So I will keep this empty. The language of your artist is the language in which the artist will see Tattoogenda if they log in, because I can imagine the guests don't always speak the same language as the shop. I keep this one in English for the demonstration. I go to next and I get to the financial and planning step. Let me explain these fields. Sometimes an artist has an hourly rate, for example, 150. Sometimes an artist has a daily rate, for example, 800 euros per day. Sometimes they have both. Sometimes they only work per day and never per hour. You can fill out whatever you want here. An artist share is the percentage of the gross income that your artist gets. I'm going to give an example of 70%. I know that sometimes people now are going to think like, oh, I just charge a seat rate per day or per week or something. If that is the case, let me know. We are working on such feature also. You could just put here 100 artist share, or if that makes it easier for you. The share percentage will only be used in the POS system, where you can draw lists to make invoices and things like that. It's a very advanced feature, so you should not be worried about that for now. And then we have the default advance. It can differ per artist. Like if you have a beginning artist, maybe they ask 50 euros. If you have a more advanced artist or a resident, they charge 100 euros or dollars, or a guest artist might charge $150, for example. So in my studio, that's the case. So here, that's why per artist, you could set a default advance. For this example, I'm going to use 100. There can be extra pricing details. Maybe you incentivize your artist to do cover-ups by paying them more, like $20 an hour extra, or whatever is extra information about pricing in your studio. You can keep track of it. If you are just 1 or 2 or 3 artists, then I can imagine you just remember this and you have no need to put it down. But if you have more artists, and if you have a booker or a receptionist who needs to make the bookings for those people, then this is really a good piece of information that will be provided when you create a booking, so your receptionist remembers the price per artist. Voila. Now I'm going to send the invite. So I created this artist with the dummy email, the temporary email that I have here. So this is my mailbox, the mailbox of the artist, I mean. And just to pay attention, here we have calendar, artist, customers, projects, products. Products is like aftercare products that you sell or merchandise. You have POS and you have consent forms. After as an artist, I accepted this invitation. I will be logged in as the artist, and you will see that the menu item is the menu in itself is more limited. So that way you will see the difference in the artist view and the shop view. I'll show the shop view one more time. So we have these menus, and now I go to the mailbox. I'm an artist. The email says, "Dear John Doe, welcome to Tattoogenda. You have been invited to become a resident artist in the shop demo studio. Accept the invitation." So your artist hopefully accepts your invitation. Voila. The artist needs to set his own password. Voila. And they register. Now they arrive in their own account. You have seen the menu going down. So we have still a calendar. This artist will see only his own bookings in this calendar. The shop sees all the bookings of all artists in the calendar. The artist does not have a list of artists anymore. Like we just showed you when you started creating an artist, there was a little list. An artist himself or herself does not see a list. They only see their own details. So for example, if that artist is logged in and they go to financial and planning, that artist will see the financial deal they have with you, but they cannot change it because it's not up to the artist to decide if the share changes. Okay, the artist has a list of projects, not a list of customers, again, to prevent from collecting customer lists, you could say. They will see only their own tattoo projects. And if they go to POS, they only see their own history. They only see the payments that they brought in and not the payments that the studio brought in for other artists, of course. I'm going to log out from this account, and now I go back to the studio's account.